So I'll tell you what I know about this place, this park. This was set out in the reign of Philip IV, who was about, or thereabout, 1610, 1612 to 1665, I think it was. I can't remember exactly, but one of his courtiers, I think the word is, brown nose or whatever, and he gave him the land. And at the time that the park where it is today was actually outside the walled part of the city, as I understand it. And the wall was somewhere where the Puerta de Alcázar, Puerta de Alcalá, I don't know, what is today. And the king very gratefully took the land. He had some Italians or something, or some local people sort of lay him out in this type of fashionable way, with lots of follies in and things like that. Although the follies certainly aren't as stupid as the ones you see in the United Kingdom. And it was developed over the years. It became public. Didn't become public for 150 years later. It became, after the revolution of 1868, it became public property. So, but before then, the royal family allowed people to use it, and then the people allowed the royal family to use it if they wanted. So this is part of what's been called the golden century, like the 17th century. Well, the golden century for Spain, as sort of words aren't very clearly defined when it was. Spain at its greatness in the 16th century maybe, but I mean for the normal peasant in the street, or peasant in the field I should say, it wasn't very golden. In the 17th century as well, I mean a lot of great monuments were built, starting off with El Escorial and others, but it's not. Spain was essentially a pretty poor country, and its revenues largely came from the exploitation of the American colonies. So if you were somebody as a slave in a Bolivian silver mine in Potosi, then you wouldn't have found it very golden, particularly if you were mining silver. That's the Alcachofe fountain, 1781. It used to be, it's one of the gates of the city, the Puerta de Alcalá, and it was brought here, I presume, sometime in the 19th century. Quite impressive. Now, this rather large pond here, which is about, I'd say, well, it's about 280 metres by about 140, something like that. And it, surprisingly enough, it's actually natural. It isn't one of these things like the Serpentine in London, which has just been sort of put there for no reason at all. Although it's clearly highly controlled, but the water was here certainly 400 years ago, and you see some of the places where it's actually being fed by. It was laid out though in its present form 150 years ago or so. Now I found some photographs taken in the mid-80s, and I had this photograph from here. I couldn't recognise it. It took me a while to think about where it was from, but I remembered, and I shall also post them, possibly, one day. Remember, this is November. Remember, the 20th of November. Now this geezer on the horse up here, that's the king, Alonso the 12th, 19th century he ruled, and it was about 1887 and Parliament proposed then the person on the throne, Murray or something or other, and to put up a statue to Alonso the 12th, and 1902 they started building this, and it wasn't finished in 1922 because they didn't have the cash. Well, to be quite honest, I'd rather spend the money on social housing or roads or sewage or something like that. But anyway, they put this up here, and this is the first nationalist monument apparently in Spain, and I mean, it looks quite impressive here, stuff here. Pretty big. 20 years to build it though, quite a long time. Particularly as the monarch only had another 9 years left before after it was finished. It's amazing, that dog statue, it looks absolutely realistic. They've even got some movement thing in there as well. Incredible, this Spanish technology. So I'm now coming out the park. That's the Plaza de la Independencia and the Puerta de Alcalá, and very nice park, this one.